Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Real Talk with Shan and Bilal. So today is going to be a little more laid back. We are going to be talking about, ironically, subsequently after that statement, we will be talking about Metoo.
God damn it, John. How is Metoo laid back? Senator Al Franken, Sean.
We had actually not planned
touching people.
So we had actually not planned
God
something
damn
for today's topic, but seeing that we did not talk about the Metoo movement as a whole, or at all, to be honest, we are going to be discussing Metoo and its impact on our society today, on the culture. We're going to be talking about the culture. We're going to be deconstructing the culture a little bit today.
First off, right, I'm going to get right in. I have no idea why people still give any credence to the Me Too movement, especially given the fact that it's knocked out so many people for illogical reasons, right? And here's the one thing, right? I think you can break it up into like three phases, right? The initial phase, the escalation phase, and the current phase, right? So the initial phase, right? It made sense. You're taking out these really big people like Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, like those were the two big ones, and I think Louis C.K. as well.
Yeah.
All these people in the film industry, that like you had tons of people, like dozens of people coming out and saying, that there was sexual misconduct, right?
Yeah.
Then there's the escalation phase, right? I would say this kind of started with Roy Moore. When it wasn't as many, they still had some validity to it, but it was kind of murky, right? And I think that climax with Senator Al Franken, right? Here's my thing.
Not only Al Franken, but Aziz Ansari as well.
Aziz Ansari kind of finished it. Aziz Ansari was the transition from the movement still has some credibility to just get out of here.
Yeah.
With Al Franken, right? What you had was the Senate Ethics Committee still had not finished their investigation, right?
Yeah.
But the public trial by fire that they put Senator Franken through just destroyed.
It was basically a kangaroo court he was put in, and I'll tell you why. The Democrats were playing it they were playing it very close to the chest. They realized that if they had played Senator Al Franken, as their sacrificial lamb in order to gain political support, especially for the upcoming midterm elections this year in 2018, they would realize that not only would the Me Too movement gain credence because it's calling out political figures, whether it be viable or not, but it shows that the Democrats are more caring in persecuting their own members rather than Republicans, who heavily endorsed more even after these child molestation case came out.
What the hell are you doing? Right? There's barely any Democrats, right, in Congress that people actually genuinely can fully get behind, right?
Yeah.
Senator Franken was one of them, and as soon as there's any little, as soon as there's a claim against him, right, you gotta go. Out.
And to be honest, it might backfire. I predict that it'll backfire, especially for the senator who started. I think she's a senator. Kirsten. What's her name? Kirsten Gillibrand. She's a senator, right?
Yeah.
Kirsten Gillibrand. She's the one that really called for his resignation, pressured other Democrats to support the cause that eventually led to him being their senator.
And that's the thing.
I think a lot of Democrats aren't going to vote for her.
I saw her one interview. I think it was with Stephen Colbert, right? And they were talking about, you used to be friends. You used to talk all the time. What made you suddenly switch on him, right? If you used to be so close, why did you not trust him? And she said, as soon as these claims came out, we just needed to support the women. We just need to make sure that, this was dealt with properly, right? Here's the thing. Dealing with it properly, right, is giving time for the investigation to happen. With Aziz Ansari, right? Okay, we kind of talked about the trial aspect of it, right? With Senator Franken, just no trial. The Senate just pushed him out, right? And then with Aziz Ansari, what did you have? You had this random website. What was the random website actually? But you had a really shady claim, right? And I've been saying this since the day the accusation. It was babe.net. I love getting my news from babe.net, just like I love my dossiers coming from BuzzFeed. But with Babe, that wasn't even that good. That wasn't bad. With the Babe.net claim, right? Aziz Ansari, he was horny, he was creepy, but he wasn't committing sexual assault, and that's a really big charge to levy against someone. To jump from okay, he was kind of odd, he was kind of getting a little bit to sexual assault, full on attacking me. I think you needed to have at least more evidence, or at least not the one person that shows, or at least just not the one person. If you had like multiple people doing it once again, then you get to like a Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K. thing, where there's a pattern, right? But one person and everyone's suddenly against Aziz Ansari, like come on.
A movement that doesn't require, now I'm not maligning the Me Too movement, but a movement that doesn't require evidence as a strong deterrent in order to determine whether or not particular cases are legitimate or not is bound to be like go overboard at some point or another, especially when you have Weinstein and Spacey, people who have actually committed egregious crimes in Hollywood. When you have people who are basically saying, yeah, they did commit the crimes that they are being accused of, obviously it is going to open up the floodgates to more people saying, okay, these people also are accused of committing these crimes, so are you not going to hold them accountable for the same crimes that they're committing? And then you, obviously, like you said, you get to a point where it has spiraled so far out of control that anyone who has done something that you don't like or anyone that you have a personal vendetta against is being called out for it. In fact, I think James Woods, who's like an outspoken conservative, super right-wing Republican, got called out for Me Too by someone. It wasn't covered by the media because it was obviously illegitimate. It was fake. There was no evidence for it. To the extent where even BuzzFeed or the New York Times that extensively covered each and every case in the Me Too movement didn't even cover it. But that can happen, and it has happened. Anyone that you have a personal vendetta against can be the victim of these kind of false crimes. And that is what this movement is currently devolving into. And a lot of pundits also said that it would devolve into it as well because evidence isn't as strong a precedent
It really
to it.
devolves down into like a political tactic.
Yeah.
Within weeks.
A very easy one.
You know, we finally had this one movement, right? That everyone can get behind, you know?
Yeah.
Sexual assault is bad. It's not that hard to say, right?
Yeah.
And everyone, Democrats, Republicans, ignoring the president, right? McConnell, Ryan, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they could all get behind it. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, though, they instantly ran with, this is going to be how we headline, this is going to be how we take out our opposition.
Yeah.
They tried to use it against Roy Moore, and it backlashed completely against him. Because when you have, at the same time the Roy Moore thing was going on, right, you also had Al Franken. So, around the same time, right?
The thing about Roy Moore, I think Roy Moore was right before the Al Franken one. But the thing about Roy Moore was, but it was around the same time, right? Roy Moore was accused of child molestation, completely different. That is what was the deterrent, the child molestation part. And there were pieces of evidence, were a bit sketchy, but especially the yearbook, that piece of evidence was really the thing that sold people on the fact that this guy has a shady past and has flirted with potential pedophilia. And that was the deterrent, not the fact that he sexually accused women. Honestly, he probably could have gotten away with that. Hell, he almost got away with being a child molestation and a child sexual predator.
He almost got away with being a senator. God damn. Election night was crazy. Okay, that's a separate topic. But election night, 2017, for the special election.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that had me.
That's the most attention Alabama's ever gonna get. Just pointing that out.
Yo, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Their football team doesn't get as much attention as that special election
And
did.
they get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I mean, because everyone assumed. I posted it on the Google Classroom for government and politics. I posted the live link to the New York Times. They're updating the electoral map of Alabama, and I think I titled it like "Watch Roy Moore win the Senate seat." And then like every hour, I was like updating. I was like, wait, never mind. Wait, AIM out, and then finally Doug Jones won. Going back to the Me Too movement, there are now. This is what really pushes me off even more. You now have people, right, calling others bad feminists, right? There's an article that Margaret Atwood published, right? Historically, one of the people that she wrote The Handmaid's Tale, right? Mm-hmm. And now they're calling her a bad feminist for trying to say, the Me Too movement is going a little bit too far. Don't have this trial by public opinion, right? It was insane. You had people turning against Margaret Atwood. She has been pushing for this stuff since her entire life. She just wants to do it fairly. She just wants to make sure that both sides are heard out, right? If you have false claims be the vanguard of a movement, right? Then it takes away from the movement as a whole. Even if there's some substance to it behind the scenes, right? For example, in Hollywood, right? There is obviously a great deal of sexual misconduct, right? But when you start accusing actors like Aziz Ansari with like what may not necessarily have a lot of backing, right? It takes away from the movement as a whole. The next time an actor is accused, they're gonna be like, "What if this is this another Kevin Spacey or is this another Aziz Ansari?" And then there's the political aspect of this. Why is the Democrats are trying to use this as one of like the lead parts of the 2018 campaign? It's like, oh, you know, we're tough on sexual misconduct. I don't get how they think they can run an election off of that.
I actually want to move. You were talking about the political aspect of the Me Too movement, and I think what often gets overlooked when talking about the Me Too movement, especially the political aspect, is the way conservatives view the movement and the way conservatives are viewed in the movement. The prime case here is Bill Clinton in the 1990s. Now, he's obviously not a conservative, but the way conservatives viewed his conduct with Monica Lewinsky definitely, well, you can argue whether or not it was consent. I don't want to talk about Monica Lewinsky. I want to talk about Juanita Broaddrick. No.
In the conservatives' defense, right? Bill Clinton was trying to pull a nonsense that oral sex was not sex. So he was trying to claim that he had not perjured himself, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's not even that. Okay, that could have been consensual. I don't really care about that. I mean,
it
obviously,
wasn't that. Well, okay. So, you remember when Bill Clinton said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman"? Yeah. He did not consider getting a blowjob sexual relations because he didn't consider oral sex to be real sex. Yeah. So that was his defense.
And then he tried to play it off as if like the trial was over, the impeachment trial was over by asking, well, that depends on what the question is when he was asked, are you having an affair? Like, is the president having an affair with Monica Lewinsky? But I want to talk about Juanita Broaddrick, who actually accused Bill Clinton of kind of molesting her, you know, like of sexual predation. Now, the thing with that is, back then, she was basically maligned for it. She was seen as this conservative Republican operative who was trying to malign the president. You know, this guy brought the first surplus in the American economy in forever. This guy's doing wonders for our country, and all of a sudden the Republicans want him resigned because he's a good Democratic president, and they're using Juanita Broaddrick as their weapon for it. And the thing about that is, that obviously is hypocrisy, but there are also articles of people saying, like, no, not people. There was one specific article from one person. I forgot what her name is. In '99, she said, if Bill Clinton upholds abortion laws, upholds Roe v. Wade, then I will personally give him a blowjob. Like, she didn't say it like that, but that's basically what she insinuated too. Basically belittling the accusers of Bill Clinton, such as Juanita Broaddrick. I mean, Broaddrick and other people who've accused Clinton as well have accused Hillary of enabling him and have accused her of kind of, in pure mafia-style talk, saying, thank you for your help, hugging them, and basically telling them to F off. Mm-hmm. You know, like, that's basic enabling
I mean, the Clintons
of the former president of the United States.
The Clintons?
They have no
As they
moral
are. Yeah, they're crazy.
Absolutely. They're Bill Clinton himself said about 95% of what happens on House of Cards is basically what happens in the presidency. I don't think that's normal.
And he said the quote was 99% of what happens in House of Cards is real. The 1% that isn't real is you would never get an education bill passed that fast.
Oh.
From season 1, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that amazing. Alright, so on the topic of Bill Clinton, right? I think that backlash, right? What was it? You had Newt Gingrich, right? The new Speaker of the House. You had the Gingrich Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Contract with America, what was it?
Yeah.
And they were trying to be like, okay, we got you, fam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of took it too far with trying to impeach the president for that. Besides, in recent memory, I think every single president has had some sort of affair, if I can think about it. JFK, like modern. FDR was known for it.
Yeah.
Not sure about Truman.
With his cousin, I think.
I'm not sure about Eisenhower. Yeah, with his cousin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure about Eisenhower. JFK definitely. Johnson probably.
Well, he was a sexual well, not a sexual predator, but he did talk.
He was the
about
president that whip out his penis in the bathroom to assert dominance.
He had a certain.
Which is amazing. Just thinking about that, right? You're trying to just think of that mental image. You're trying to
His libido was it extended to even the male libido.
Honestly, you're one of the most powerful people in the United States, right? And then, just to make sure your bill is passed, you whip out your schlong. It's like, you're going to vote for this, right? That's one way to whip
That's
votes.
also the day that he sanctioned more troops to go into Vietnam.
Oh my God.
Yeah, actually, yeah. He doubled the American troop presence in Vietnam that day, too. Anyway, yeah.
Wait,
so,
that was a pretty risky move. I guess you could say he had pretty big balls.
good stuff. It's discipline.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
you were saying,
anyway. No, nothing. Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, every president in modern history has.
Yeah, so with the modern history thing, right?
Warren G.
A lot of Warren G. Harding.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
A lot of presidents have the sexual misconduct thing. What makes a unique with Bill Clinton, right, was that it was used as a grounds of impeachment.
Yeah.
I think we should kind of get away from that type of stuff. The impeachment thing is so powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only been used effectively, basically once, and that was just the threat of it, right?
Yeah.
We tried the process twice, and the third time it didn't work, right? The president knew it. If a president does not resign, this is just my thing. Obviously, it's only tried to happen 3 times. With Johnson, right?
Yeah.
He barely held on. He was short by 1 vote. Clinton, he knew he could survive it because he was popular. So it comes down to, do people like you enough to forgive that aspect, right?
Yeah.
I think with Roy Moore, I don't even. They just didn't want a Democrat that badly.
Yeah.
Is that the only justification? With Bill Clinton, I mean, the economy was great. I can't think of a reason.
For Clinton?
I can't think of a reason why a president that's doing well, or like a person that's doing well, right,
Yeah.
would face like political destruction due to that, due to sexual misconduct.
Well, at the time, the Democrats were kind of seen as an invincible force in the political landscape. I mean, that's why Gingrich initiated the Gingrich Revolution in order to get the Republicans some sort of political stronghold,
Which is really
at least in the Congress.
Gingrich always confused me, because what was that? That was the '94 election.
Because Clinton was a political as well as cultural powerhouse. You had to dethrone him at some point, and they played the moral card. They basically exploited the way that people on the left, especially in popular culture and the media, played off Clinton's sexual past, sexual history, as well as Hillary's like off-color comments about black people, calling them super predators, her failed health care plan, Hillary Care, I think it was called, like all that kind of stuff. And they basically said the Republicans basically said the Clintons are not as bad, are not as good as you think. The economy is doing well under him, yes, but there's also a lot of flaws.
Shady stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have anything else to say? I'm good.
I think I'm good as well, yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you for listening. That has been Real Talk with Shan Bilal. Today we discussed Metoo. We will hopefully have another video up within the next few weeks. So once again, thank you guys for listening. See ya.